She won most talkative in high school, and she has been running her mouth ever since. Welcome to the Lisa Fisher Said podcast with your host, Lisa Fisher.
We have to start it with the music. Oh, well, we won't now. Okay. Darren is so picky. Do we have to pay for that? For those of you listening, we just have a moment of silence. Because Shiv did the right thing, y'all.
We can't, but I'm conflicted on if we can talk about it, really.
Okay, this is how we'll do it. Okay, for those of you who haven't watched Succession, where have you been?
God.
And Mary's closing her ears.
Oh, yeah.
But number two, by the time this drops, it has been in enough social media.
Oh, it's all over the
that you
internet.
see the scenes and you hear, you know the hints because they posted. Succession posted Tom's CEO.
Yeah. Wow.
So, I know.
We went there. We did it. You did
That's what I thought. If they did it, we can do it. So, of course, we're talking about the series finale of what we think, next to Breaking Bad, is the greatest TV show, and Sopranos, I've ever sat through.
Ever.
And at the last few minutes, when you saw Tom turn, when he goes, "What do you mean? What's going on?" She was like, "I'm not going to be CEO." I looked at my husband and said, "He's got it."
I called it season 2. That it was going to be Tom.
What?
Oh, yeah. I've always said it was Tom. I was like,
Nostradamus?
No. It was always going to be Tom because he was such this wank weenie, but also like willing to be the fall guy, willing to fall on the sword. And just like, I just knew there was going to be something for him given the way Shiv had treated him. I was like, this is going to bite her
she has no
in the
respect
butt.
for him. No.
I don't think she has any respect for anybody.
She doesn't, but herself.
Right. So in season 2, I was like, it's going to be Tom. He's the biggest underdog other than Cousin Greg, who is not going to run a company.
No, but he thought
he's adorable.
It wasn't a will that was read, but it was a piece of paper from the drawer. And he was like, "What? My name's on it?"
Right. And his name was on it. But then he and Tom have been the disgusting brothers. They've been together.
And they hate each other too.
But they hate each other, love each other.
And they love each other, right.
Because Tom mentored Greg.
And
Tom has made Greg the way he is now.
Right.
And that's why he respected those shenanigans and he put the little sticker on his head.
He did.
And he's keeping Greg because he can make him whatever he wants.
He hiked his leg and peed on it. I mean, he said
from the beginning.
This is my territory.
Yeah.
Because no one else wanted him.
No.
Greg, but we loved him.
Loved Greg.
Hannah, didn't we love Greg from the beginning?
Total goofball.
Cousin Greg is one of the most endearing characters.
Yes. Adorable.
And he's 6'7". Like, of course, I've done a deep dive on him. He's just so likable and aw shucks. And
but he's also like sassy and like we'll talk back and speak up when everyone's like, no, don't do that. Like to Logan Roy. He wanted them to roast him.
Yes.
And then Greg of all people is like, well, we're your kids, Uncle Logan. I mean, nobody wants to be. He's like, your dad, beep. And then said all these horrible things about his dad.
But with this episode about smell his finger.
Oh my God.
It was, y'all, there were some times this season that I screamed.
Yeah.
I got vomit, had a little throw up.
That was the whole disgusting brothers. And because they were in fact disgusting. They were Garrodi.
Okay, what do you think about a spinoff possibility?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't support that.
Oh, I've been daydreaming about it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Kendall jumped into the East River.
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
I mean,
Mary, don't laugh until you've seen it. Then you'll know.
Whenever she can laugh, it's Kendall. He's a ticking time bomb. Like, how many times did we see him almost drown? Like, the water plays such a theme.
But then triumphant, he would come back going, "Come on!"
Did he ever come back? He's a failure. But
he kept thinking he was coming back. So the last time we were together, you told us that you were in New York and you had seen.
Well, I was on set when Roman was with the protesters
and now
the barricade.
Know it was that scene.
So that barricade he's leaning on, that's the one that my friend Lizzie and I just walked in and out of there. Yeah.
There were hundreds of people in that scene.
So if we had known that they were running around like that,
we would have
participated.
But you were dressed
no
too
idea.
nicely.
We were too cute.
Yeah.
And we didn't have ski masks on. And we didn't have offensive posters.
But signs.
It wouldn't have, I feel it still would have been disservice to the show. We would have caused
that was
disruption.
At midnight in New York?
12:30 a.m. on Fifth
Really?
Avenue. That's when they closed down the streets.
How long do you think it took them to shoot that?
I think they did. Well, I know they did multiple takes because they did it in 2 different directions.
Yeah, right.
So they had done one take before, I think, without him being elbowed. I think that was the second take because I don't think that was actually fully planned. Like it was kind of like he was improvising and picked someone to yell at and do all of that.
Yes.
So we missed that part, but it that's you gotta know when to fold them. You gotta respect the process.
That was good. Did you, when you saw that, were you like, this is it?
Well, I rewound it a bunch.
Okay.
Knowing that I wasn't in it.
Yeah, but just seeing.
But I was like, I just wanted to make sure my account of it was accurate. And I was like, did I make this up? But no, I didn't.
No, you did not make it up. Well,
no, I called Angela immediately. I was like, before I start lying about it and say that I've been signed on for Succession and that Roman and I are dating,
yes,
this is exactly what just happened.
Yes.
Don't let me change my story.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was just so good.
Because that was the second to final episode.
Yeah, it was after the funeral.
Yes, after the funeral. Okay, he should get the Emmy for that.
Oh, he should get the Emmy for the whole. They all should get the Emmys for this whole season.
Right, but sometimes they'll have an episode they'll submit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, that's right.
Because it'll say, or you'll see the Emmy for an episode.
Right, that's right.
It has to be the penultimate, the one before the finale, and the finale was very good. But the one at the funeral was Roman did. Oh, he did well.
I know.
He was believable.
Well, it was one take. That was the only take that he did.
Me?
No,
like it's giving me.
And
tears.
he didn't even rehearse. Really, he didn't prepare.
Are you kidding
No,
me?
he just went up and did it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because he kept saying, "I pre-grieved. I pre-grieved."
Yeah. Well, I kind of knew he was a ticking time bomb when he was talking in the mirror.
You did. You
like
thought
with note cards.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You're like, okay, he's about to lose it.
Yeah, and
like,
boy, he did.
He did.
That was.
But I have to confess, like I've consistently been since he's been on the show super into Mattson.
Really?
Yes, as his character.
I'm afraid he'll get an Emmy and it'll outshine the others because of who he is.
He also is just really good, but he won't. He's a guest. He won't.
I hope.
But I'm telling you, I am into Mattson as a character, and he is a douchebag, and he is just like he doesn't wear shoes. I love his gold jacket. I love everything. I love his weird comments and his weird facial expressions.
And
I'm in.
The way he played
I'm not proud
Shiv.
of it. Oh, I was way into that.
Okay. So did you think he was going to turn on her that way?
Wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're not going to have a woman in charge. These are the most misogynistic group of men.
Right, but he wanted to sleep with her because he, remember, admitted it to Tom.
Yeah.
When he was admitting it to Tom.
He was trying to see if Tom would freak out. He was trying to see like if that would shake him.
Test. Yeah, that's true.
And Tom was like, all right.
That just shows.
He's like, do you. Can I be CEO?
Right. Because remember,
he could have offered her on a silver platter.
Well, she even.
And his child.
She said, Tom will. I wouldn't say it. I can't say it on the podcast.
Well, you already mentioned the finger thing, but we can.
But that's a different
You can just
orifice.
assume it was something real intense.
Yes, with the biggest one in the room.
To favor someone in power.
A man, right.
Unfortunately.
Right, and so I thought.
But Shiv was the one that's got him like pushed even further for that, so.
Yeah.
It would.
At the end, when she turned like that, I was like, "Wow, what a performance!"
Yeah, I mean,
and Kendall was good. And Kendall was.
Oh, I just have goosebumps right now.
I know. It was.
When he's like, I was at 7 years old. He told me, and they're like, "Dude, you sound pathetic." I mean, per usual.
Yeah.
Bless it.
Yeah, bless it.
But Roman knew it. Roman got it. Like they're all. And guess what? I don't feel sorry for all these people. They're billionaires.
They're billionaires.
Still. What are you going to do with this bill, Dad? You're going to add it to the other pile of bill? Like, I mean, these people have so much money that they're fine. And they just don't have to work anymore.
And here's the deal. They have no skills.
No. They don't have, he never taught them how to do anything.
No, they couldn't do anything.
He knew none of them were going to be the successor. No. He didn't train any of them to be the successor. He was an abusive father.
Yeah.
And, that was never going to happen. So.
Well, it was quite the series. I don't know if anything can live up to that.
No, I thought it was really, really.
I thought it ended well
done. I was very pleased.
Yeah, me too. It was an hour and a half. I mean, it kind of took your breath away.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a group thread, all of us, with Darren and Matt, and we purposely didn't discuss it so that we could discuss it tonight because there's so much to unpack.
And we'll have to put a disclaimer on your notes.
That's right, on the podcast. Just saying if you haven't.
But at the same time, like by the time this comes out.
Yeah, we hope
if you have an internet, like,
yes,
if
you have the World Wide Web,
okay,
you may have seen something.
It's done.
A carrier pigeon probably dropped something off with information about it.
You can't decide not, to be upset about that now. That's
right.
all.
Okay, let's move down our list. So we keep a list of things we've been watching, and some things make the final cut for us to discuss. And this one, I tried watching an episode and I lost interest, but remind me why I should be watching Unstable on Netflix.
Well, I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I think it's adorable. I can't not
but was
love.
it slow? It's
just background noise. I mean, it's just like it's cute, and I love Rob Lowe and everything he does.
Me too.
And I also love a father-son duo, and he's doing the show with his son, and they write it together, and I think it's sweet.
Did anybody in the room watch that one? Did you finish it, Aaron? And you liked it? Okay. Gave it several stars, kind of thing. Ish.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Well,
it's cute.
I love Rob Lowe.
I love Rob Lowe.
That is one reason why I did try it, but it didn't keep my interest. This next one, I also lost interest.
I haven't started it.
It's a good one. The Night Agent. Have you all seen that? Anybody in here? Oh. The Night Agent.
Bruce was obsessed.
Okay, that's who may be the one that turned us onto it. Your dad, and it may be based on some truth that there's maybe a night agent at the White House. He sits by the phone and he may never get called, but if he does,
like Batman,
kind of. It's kind of like the red phone.
I love Batman.
Yeah, it's kind of the red phone. It's just the fact that you're waiting, but the phone does ring, and he then uncovers a lot of things of impropriety that's going on. But again, I didn't finish.
Does the phone ring like each episode? So there's a new thing? Because I would like that.
No.
Oh.
It rings like the first episode.
Like each time's a new problem, and the phone rings. He's like, well, this one's today.
It's not Murder, She Wrote.
Well, okay. And we need more of that. We need to go back to that format. I
loved it.
I mean, each episode is individual.
Yes.
And new case each time, like Law and Order, but less dark.
Yeah, right. Less dead people.
I mean, or
Poker Face. That was a good one.
We loved that one.
Yeah,
I love that one. That was good. They brought back Perry Mason.
Oh, they did?
And I love that dude, Matthew Reese.
Oh, I missed it.
But it's so dark, and I don't even mean like emotionally, like I mean visually.
Oh.
Like I have to wear my like bifocals to be able to see, because it's like all the colors are muted tones.
Which we need to discuss. Smartless on Max is in sepia tones. It's in black and white.
Okay.
So, she's having a moment. She's having a moment.
No,
so
are we going to jump? Let's
Well,
jump.
it made me jump because of the segue of the fact the tones that it's shot in.
Yeah.
It makes my brain go.
It's a lot.
So is that to give us an authentic look of like behind the scenes?
I think it was to make it different.
Okay.
I think it was just to make it different from their podcast, and also for me and my interpretive brain.
Yes.
They are a podcast. It's not supposed to be like a live show, so they're keeping it black and white as to, not make it better in color as a TV show than their podcast.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
I'm tracking with that.
But I just made that up.
But it's memorable.
Yeah. Right.
When you said that, it made me go to that.
You're like, just they don't want to make it too rich so that you don't listen to their podcast and then like.
Well.
But I listen to their podcast every day, all day. It's like my pacifier.
Yeah, right.
Because Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes, just
their banter.
I love them so much, and then I listen to them to fall asleep. Now, well, like when you're like anxious, like it's when I am anxious. Like I have my certain programs, like Modern Family, Arrested Development. Right. You have your night programs. Well, I've been doing Smartless.
Okay.
And so I haven't even finished the show, the documentary, because I don't want it to be over.
Right.
So I've been like really milking it and rewatching the episode over, and so I'm only on like the second episode.
So the premise behind it is it's 10 days that they're together. They fly out. They talk about the cheap private plane that they're on, and
they're snotty.
They start in Washington D.C. They go up to Boston, then they're in New York, and Jason Bateman, because this is the health coach speaking, he's on a plant-based diet.
Yeah.
He has to take Gas-X all day.
Yeah.
Because people, when you're on a plant-based diet, you toot a lot.
Tutors, I guess.
I mean, he said he eats all day. I'm like, you need to intermittent fast, dude.
He does? I thought he did fast. That must be new. I think he fasts now.
Oh, well, maybe he fasts, and then when he eats, because then he has to have an apple, and then he has
But I love Sean Hayes' diet, which is like Pop-Tarts and cereal and bagel
They
sandwich,
steak,
bagel sandwich, bagel sandwich.
At the first restaurant. So it's like, and guess who's not using a gas X?
Yeah, right.
So it's just some of the things that I just want people to think about.
I love that we can tie in. I mean, that's beautiful.
It's how I live.
I love it.
I'm the one at Walmart going, honey, I can help you with your thyroid problem. It's just not appropriate all the time for me.
You need to read the room, and then you can kind of go from there. But yes,
exactly.
I totally agree.
I have a little trouble with all that.
But Smartless, it's a feel good.
It is feel good,
and they're funny. They're super sarcastic, but it's funny.
And yeah, they're just delightful together.
Yeah, they really are. And they're best friends.
You can tell. Well, gosh, they've been 2 of them.
We're in Arrested Development.
20 years ago or 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So they've been together a long
time. And
I
think they were friends with Sean Hayes before that. But
how did they get Sean Hayes?
They just were all buddies. Like Bradley Cooper was buddies with all of them. And wasn't Will Ferrell a guest? Because the premise is they have one of them picks a guest and doesn't tell the other, and they surprise them with their famous people. So that would be like, who was on the, Will Ferrell comes on.
Will Ferrell,
Conan.
So good. Conan. Some scientist I've never heard of.
Okay. Does Bradley Cooper?
I haven't gotten that far yet.
I think
have you seen it, Hannah? Okay, Bradley
Oh,
Cooper.
there's my mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Sally. Welcome.
Come on in.
There's your libations right over there.
We have a guest showing up. Okay, now we're going to go back in order.
Okay.
This next one is so well done. And if you don't have Hulu, you need to get it. And it's to watch Brooke Shields and Pretty Baby.
This has created a massive obsession, infatuation.
Is she not the most beautiful
fascination
creature you've ever seen?
Inside and out.
Inside and out.
I mean,
absolutely lovely.
The way that she tells her story, the way that even the postpartum, I forgot that she was the first person, famous person to address postpartum.
And don't get me started.
He said he was sorry.
Yeah, well, it's because we want Scientology. You want all Scientologists to be arrested.
Right.
He's like, I'm back off. I'm sorry.
But she.
Tom Cruise is who we're talking about.
He was, did this whole spiel about antidepressant.
Whoever takes antidepressants are
weak.
Yeah, weak.
Essentially.
I was like, back off.
Yeah,
right.
dude.
I mean, double birdie.
Don't take away my meds. Okay. Don't take away my meds. But you told me about this, and I didn't know enough. I didn't know a lot about her. Like, why would we? Did she have a book? She's had multiple books. So you did know a lot about her.
Well,
so my mind exploded.
Yeah, we're contemporaries and we were close in age. I watched her grow up.
Similar vibes.
I have very similar story. I grew up in Jersey. My mother wanted me to model. My mother was a drunk too. My mother couldn't get out of bed. So that's what her first book's about, that tells about the times living on the Upper East Side. And she got herself to her auditions because her mother was laid up drunk.
Right.
And so I identified with all that.
Right.
But then
And you both have great eyebrows.
Thank you. She really still is beautiful
she's
too. To this day.
I think she's so wonderful.
Went to Princeton. Remember, she was the face of purity.
Yes.
She was 21 years old and she was a virgin and telling people. Well, no one does that now.
Well, no.
No.
You're setting yourself up.
Right.
Yeah.
But she was so innocent.
Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting.
A real sweetheart.
The perspective that her mother did exploit her in a movie about child prostitution as an 11 or 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But Brooke really kind of defending her mother and just saying it was art.
Yeah, it's a movie. I agree with that.
I know.
I do.
It changed my perspective on it and not so judgy of her just saying it was art.
Yeah. And she's not embarrassed by it.
No, not at all.
And I wouldn't be either.
No.
It got everybody talking.
It did. And then she had to reinvent herself. After she went to college, again, went to Princeton, it's kind of hard to get in. Like, is this Harvard? Yeah, it's kind of like Harvard. And then she tells something she'd never told before, and that was a sexual assault. I assume it's with Harvey Weinstein. She doesn't say.
Right.
But she just says a high-ranking film executive took her to his room.
She basically said Harvey Weinstein.
She basically
it was it's pretty clear.
Right. But she said, I won't say his name.
Right.
And he's
already in jail for life. It's fine.
Right, that's right. Yeah. And she just said, I don't want to give it any more notoriety because he wanted to he wanted to victimize more beautiful women. To him, it's another notch on his belt.
Right.
He's in prison going, got her too. But he didn't. I mean, I guess he did in his way, but to her, it made her turn from that, and she hates him. Good.
Yeah.
As we all do.
Right.
But then her story of meeting Andre Agassi and wanting someone to take control like her mother did, and his control was sick.
Yeah, he wasn't right.
She didn't even know he was a drug addict. Like, that's part of her book. She didn't really know that he was a drug addict.
Well, she didn't seem real into it.
No.
Like, it was just like
it was another
role.
It was another
role.
Like
another role in her life.
It was another part
she
to play.
She just didn't want to be alone, and I just think that it was a control person, and it was kind of like whatever.
Right.
Not that I didn't love his hair in the 90s, which I did.
Wasn't that all a wig, too? Because he's bald.
Now? Was that a wig then?
I don't know.
I thought he just couldn't let go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now he's bald.
Yeah.
And married to, like, Steffi Graf or somebody. Like,
he's married to another tennis player.
Yeah, another tennis player.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that story was so good.
Love.
Yeah, everyone needs to see it.
It's so wonderful.
It's just, she is so articulate and lovely and gracious and
sweet.
Yeah, everything about her. Lives in New York, tries to lead a normal life.
She's like the coolest friend group. She's like a total girl's girl. Like, just so good.
Yes, I loved everything about her.
Me too.
Now, this next one I was talking about at lunch last week with somebody, and the waitress was there and came over and said, "Y'all want me to do my LeAnne Morgan impersonations?" And I'm talking about,
where is this restaurant, and do they take reservations?
Joe's E Place.
Okay.
The waitress, it was Anne Marie Doremus and I were there. It was late, and I was talking about what we were going to talk about in our favorite shows. I said, "Have y'all seen LeAnne Morgan?" And it's I'm Every Woman on Netflix. And the waitress, it was like 1:30, so they were close. She goes, "Let me come over and do it." I was cute when my thyroid worked. You know, I mean, she did every bit. But
and we went and saw her.
We did. We saw her in August. Darren went too. She's coming back. She's going to be in Memphis. Oh, in Memphis, because you're going to that one, right? Okay.
I had never heard of her. Until I went with you guys to Robinson.
Isn't she?
And so she is like the PG rated Jean Smart Hacks.
Yeah.
Comedian.
Yeah.
Which is so delightful.
Yeah, still my favorite. Jean Smart Hacks.
But she's just delightful.
Yeah,
like it's like gentle comedy.
55
but like,
or 60.
But she's like all spunky and like, but sassy. And she talks about, menopause and thyroid and all these things.
All relate to.
And even like her story about her children, like I don't even have kids, but that's funny.
She's like one of them. She goes,
I don't understand
I
like
tried
some of
to
that,
do
but
the
it's
first
funny.
two. She'd say they were just perfect. She goes, and that last one came along. She was a butthole.
Yeah,
I mean,
total.
she was like,
yeah.
She goes, and she used terrible language.
Yeah.
We didn't even say butt around here.
She would go up to her dad and say, "What up, mofo?" Like the baby always gets to like
3.
juggle knives.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She is so funny telling it. She's from East Tennessee. Has a thick accent. She is so likable.
She is so likable. And I think she's adorable.
So. Yeah, so that's and she has that on Netflix. She says she's going to be in a Reese Witherspoon film. Like,
I believe it.
Her social media has said, and she was on either the 4th Hour of the Today Show recently or something else, or Sherry Shepherd or somebody, and she's so humbled by it. But she says, "I'm not an overnight sensation. I've been doing this for 20 years."
Hacks.
Yeah, right.
She's like real life hacks.
It is.
Oh,
she got big during COVID.
I get that.
I remember the first time someone sent me something, and it was about her saying, "Do y'all go to concerts anymore?" She goes, "You can tell you're old when you go and you think the music's too loud." And I would really like to be home in my pajamas. And so that's the first time I listened. I thought, who is that? Because I've thought that same.
Like, this is really relatable.
Yes. And the whole thyroid thing, we've been saying for years.
I know.
And she said during COVID, her husband came in the kitchen, put his hand on her left breast, and she said she'd sit there and stare at him and go, "What?
Yeah. What do you want?
What do you want?" So
I think we know.
She's just very, very likable. Okay, we're going down our list. How are we doing on time over here? Got a few. Okay, we take a break at about halfway. This one, everyone's talking about.
I'm obsessed.
It kind of makes me uncomfortable watching
so
it.
Cringe.
It is so cringe. And it's Jury Duty.
It's on Prime.
It's Prime. It's Freevee or whatever.
Whatever it is.
I don't know.
They're commercials.
So, yeah. Tell the premise.
Well, basically, it's like a fake reality show that there's this guy, but there's one, and it's like how jury selection goes, and then there's some famous people. They're all actors except this one guy. And he doesn't know that everyone else is acting.
It's kind of the Truman Show.
It's a bit like the Truman Show.
Okay, where there's one person not knowing.
And he's the funniest one, and he has no idea how good of an actor and like
James
charming
Marsden,
and cares.
is that his name?
James Marsden. And then I don't know the rest of them, but it's just like it's like The Office and Parks and Rec and Waiting for Guffman, and it's like all of these things in one, and it's hysterical and just so weird.
Where the girl, she's like chewing gum, blowing bubbles, and kind of twirling her hair. She's eating a lollipop, and she licks it, and she just puts it on her chest because she has to use her hands to
Yep.
write something,
Yep.
and doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
And it's very improv. I mean, the whole thing is very improv, but
Right.
it's very well done.
I mean, it's hysterical, and this is the first. I've never seen one person not like a show where one person is not privy to everything else that's going on.
No.
Now I can't imagine what kind of therapy he must probably be in right now.
So that's
but
where I
thank
go
you
with
for
it.
your service.
Yes, that's where I go with
Yeah.
it. I think
Wow.
bless his heart.
What would you do if you found out that you went through this whole jury, this case, and all
see
these
that Arkansas
all these-
River?
Yeah.
I would go swimming.
Yeah.
Forever.
I don't know what
never
I would
come
do.
back.
It's like it gives me like Paul T. Goldman vibes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You know, but like he did know. He just was delusional. He did know, but this guy, if I all of a sudden they were like clapping at the end, they're like, "You did good." I'm like, I just spent 4 months doing what?
Yes.
Like I thought I was in a jury,
right,
and I'm
this
not.
was for
and I'd be like,
fakes
"Where's
and
my
not-
check?"
Well,
The only way this is gonna be cool,
Yeah.
is if I get paid.
yeah, and he gains notoriety, but then what happens? I mean,
Well,
do you get your own YouTube channel of fake things?
I don't know.
what-
I think he should be an actor.
You
I think
so?
he was really great, and and it's obviously natural, like just his sarcasm, and he's just funny.
And the judge and the bailiff,
All of it.
and they're all
All of it.
I don't even want to say. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things you have to.
That's
watch.
a must watch.
Yes, you have to watch. Okay, coming up in about 30 seconds. I thought the title was Meat. It's Beef, and we're going to talk about a very
did type that.
cringe-worthy thing that I saw that's on Netflix. Coming up, stay right where you are. Okay, and we're back. So before we get to beef, someone told me about it, and I came home Googling meat. So we're going to talk about beef in just a second. But this one show is called The Longest Third Date. It's on Netflix. It was shot beginning maybe March 10th of 2020, right as the pandemic was
shut down.
unfolding. Yes, and this adorable couple go on date 1 and date 2. And then on a whim on date 3, he says, hey, was it Puerto Rico?
Costa Rica.
Or Costa Rica. They're in Manhattan. He's like, let's fly to Costa Rica
Mm-hmm.
and go on a date. And there were, well, no one's at the airport. This is right in the beginning. Go back to
They're
the pandemic.
still just oblivious.
Yeah, and that's it. They're oblivious. She's in some type of marketing media, and he's some type of vlogger.
Well, I think people were like, you really shouldn't do that. And they're like, cool story. But they went anyway.
Right. So they flew there, and we remember, think back in time, everything shut down.
Right.
The rug was pulled out.
Right.
But at least we were in our own country.
Yeah. I wish I wasn't, but.
Right. But would you have wanted to have been there?
Costa Rica?
Yeah.
I'd be a surfer right
but
now.
with him?
Ooh.
See?
He had a, well,
So they get there,
I've dated worse.
and, well, I think we can all agree.
Okay.
Cheers to
All
that.
right. All right. That's a low
Okay.
blow. That's all right.
But with that, they get there and they realize was it 92 days to they're on this third date?
Yes. And they realize it on the fourth, the day they're supposed to, the day before they're leaving, which is like the fourth day they're there together.
Which is like March 15th or whatever.
right.
Not
And
maybe
then
off
their
a few
flights
days.
were canceled.
Everything's canceled.
And the beach shuts down. The beach shuts down. Everything shuts down.
The restaurants, everything.
and they are in quarantine together.
Together with someone.
With unforeseeable timeline.
Right, with the same clothes that they packed for the weekend.
Yeah.
She told her mom and dad she went with friends.
Well, I wouldn't tell my dad that I was being a nutbag and went on a third date with someone to Costa Rica.
I know.
Which I do respect. I think that's romantic, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time,
It kind of
I watched too much Dateline. We've said that before.
Thank you.
We've said it before.
So with that, they're there. They have to cook together. Let me tell you something, people.
know.
I've been married for 35 years. You get to know their bathroom habits, their shaving habits, what foods make them toot. I mean, you get to know somebody intimate
How
ways.
exciting.
And this is a third date.
Lisa's things to look forward to for Natalie.
But my point is, they got to know each other well, quickly.
Yeah. Well,
And
they had to.
They had to.
I don't know how. So they're still together, right?
They are still together.
Okay. So my mixed bag of emotions is because I don't think I could have come out of that and been like, this is it. Like, I'd be like, thank you so much.
What?
But because
Do you shake hands
you're
and then-
forced fist bump. No, remember
Fist
it's
bump
COVID.
and
You
that's
do the
it?
fist bump. I don't know. I just feel like that's forced. And like, what if, even if you didn't like that person, you're going to like that person because you're all alone in a different country. And I mean, like,
it's an arranged marriage.
Flip a switch in your head and you're like, this is great.
Yes. That's what I think happened.
I mean, he has this like movie channel on YouTube that was Cringe Palooza.
And she
she was embarrassed by it.
Because she's an introvert. She didn't like the attention. She said, I really feel uncomfortable. Him now
filming all the time.
Yes. And then People Magazine shows up.
Yeah.
By phone because no one saw each other.
Right.
And then her mom and dad finally were figuring out that, wait, you're with a man in a foreign country on a third, wait, what?
But at least you're still alive. I mean.
Yeah. And then she goes to his family and he goes to her family cross country.
Oh, yeah.
So they survive.
It's a real rom-com.
A real rom-com.
It is. It's a potential deathly situation that went well.
Is he Matthew McConaughey and she's
no?
Okay,
she's stunning.
She's a doll.
I would cast her in all rom-coms.
She's a doll.
He is a goober, but
he's a goober.
He can be. It
Total
was endearing.
Goober.
It was like endearing, like whatever.
Total goober. Now this next one, you talk about cringe and uncomf and maybe nervous, and I couldn't stop watching.
I didn't make it through the credits.
Okay.
The opening credits.
Are you serious?
No, my back started sweating. Just go ahead.
Okay.
I had to get my client to tell me what everything about.
It's beef, and it's just about an all Korean cast or all Asian cast because Ali Wong is the lead, and it's about road rage. But it's much more than road rage. It's the two unlikeliest characters who their lives circumvent so much that you really are at one point going, I'm gonna have to breathe into a paper bag because I don't know how they're going to get through this. And then since you haven't seen it, you're not ready for the last episode.
I heard about it. I already know what happens.
Okay.
I made my client tell me while I was doing tattoo removal.
Here's the thing. It's kind of the twin flame, I think is what they call that philosophy. It's two people that their lives are so parallel and it's the other half of them. Yet their sicknesses and obsessions are almost similar.
Yeah. So what? They have a bad interaction, like a road rage interaction, right? And then they go out to destroy each other's lives
for 7.5 episodes.
So what's the time? What's the actual timeline of that? Like months? Like a week? Like a week?
I don't know if they really tell us because. Do you know, Hannah? Have you? Yeah,
so it's just like a 2-week situation, basically. Maybe even.
Maybe it's a few weeks. Yeah,
a
few months.
Okay.
But she is this incredibly successful businesswoman, and he's trying to make it in the world.
Yeah.
And so the story is he's trying to back out. She's behind him, and then she flips him off in a parking lot. They're in LA, and so he chases her then, and then he finds out who it is, doesn't realize that she's this woman that has this incredible reputation as a businesswoman who's married to what we think is the heir to an art fortune, who has the ugliest vases you've ever seen. I mean, there are so many different story points to it. And then Jesus gets involved. He becomes a Christian. And they start praising.
Sign me up.
They start praising the Lord at a Korean Baptist church in LA.
Well, I definitely am going to watch it. But I've just been keeping it light. But
it's not
right.
No, it's intense.
I mean, if I had a hard time with Breaking Bad, but
okay,
the church and he gets this, supplies.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
like money laundering.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's more appealing.
There are illegalities involved. That's right. In the church, the whole church story. It's something.
I'm definitely going to watch it because I've only heard.
And then there's catfishing
really good things
involved. Remember?
Oh, I love a catfishing.
Okay.
Sign me up for any catfishing. Any catfishing,
right.
I love it.
I know what you'll be doing then. Because
I definitely am going to watch it.
In the catfish part of it, you're cringing with that too, going, wait, what?
Well, catfishing is so cringe anyway.
It is.
And how many documentaries have we talked about?
Manti Te'o.
And yeah, that was
still one of my favorites.
Oof.
It is such an oof. Well, this is
and stupid.
This is also something that has catfishing involved. So
I'm in. You sold me.
And this one, because I had to Google afterwards, does look like that there will be a second season.
Okay.
Because
I love every actor in it, and I love
Ali
the
Wong's
whole.
amazing.
I love the whole premise of of it. I just want to watch it all. Like I need to have a time where I can, like a rainy day when it's just.
That's when you'll have to do it, because they're 30-minute episodes.
They're only 30 minutes.
See, thank you.
Sold. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think I watched it in 2 or 3 days, which is kind of record for me.
That's way easy. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes it even. I can do that.
But you still sometimes will almost pause it and go, "Oh my gosh, where is it?"
I
going?
have to follow, like with a lot of shows like that. I have to, because I'm, my brain goes all over the place.
You don't have
Yours
to tell
does
me.
too.
Yes.
But I have to go to the wiki, like the episode guide. I'm like, did I miss something?
All
the time.
Which, in fact, The Diplomat, I had to do that recently.
Haven't started it yet.
So The Diplomat.
I love Kerry Russell.
Kerry Russell's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Darren got me started on it, but I did the stupid thing. I asked a question during it, and my husband paused it and said, "Have you not been paying attention?" And he doesn't understand. Well, yes, but my phone was in my lap and I missed something.
Right.
So I went to the Wikipedia summary and I went, "Oh, that's what happened."
Right.
It is very well done. That lead actor, Chris Assine, and other things, her husband, who is the original diplomat or the Secretary of State or whatever he was, he's British and he's playing kind of like in Succession, where they're all using their American English accents, not their British English accent. And he is a very charming man, and it is very well done. I haven't finished it, but
was it all released at the same time?
Yes.
Are they usually doing that now?
Yes. So it's 10 episodes. I'm probably about 5 in.
Okay.
But she's very good.
I love her.
The story about her is she's the wife of someone who already was the ambassador, and she's now the ambassador. And she doesn't brush her hair. She's kind of a mess.
She was in the military. She was in Iraq.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's badass,
Yeah.
right? But one time, I think either the prime minister, when she was in the UK, said, "Can somebody just brush her hair?" Because she's just kind of a mess. She doesn't care.
But that hair is just fabulous. She has fabulous hair.
But she's just so endearing with it and does a great job. And
she's married to Matthew Reese in real life, who plays the new Perry Mason.
No way.
Yeah, they live in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm.
No way. I should have gone to see him recently.
Oh.
Okay, this next one, y'all, you're not ready for it if you haven't seen it.
I'm not.
But we all grew up watching Michael J. Fox, and he was America's sweetheart, as we have used the term before.
Yes.
And he has been fighting, a treasure. Yep. He's been fighting Parkinson's since he was 29.
Yep.
And he's 60 now, or 61 maybe. And so this is his story on Apple, and his jerky movements are so severe that only if you're watching this could you see his head moves up and down, his arms move the whole time. Have you seen it yet?
I turned it on and turned it off immediately.
Yeah.
It took me, I just now watched Robin Williams' documentary, okay?
Oh, I still said that one's too soon for me.
I just did it like a week ago.
Okay. I'm still not ready for
I
that
don't know
one.
why I did that to myself.
Right. I was going to say, now's not really the time.
It's not the time.
Yeah, well.
But I'm probably going to have to wait and watch this I was so excited about it. And then I was like, whoa, I'll probably watch it in 5 years.
But the reason it's not sad, my husband wouldn't watch it either. He said, "That's just so sad. I can't believe you're watching that." I said, "No, it's really a story of perseverance, marital faithfulness, Tracy Pollan's loyalty to him."
Oh, I love her.
And when she first met him, because he was such a star, he's 5'4", y'all.
Didn't they meet on the Family
set.
Ties? On Family Ties?
And so he was such a king, and he is talking to her, and he ad-libbed. He was known as ad-libbing even his script, and he said something about, "Is that garlic on your bread? Did you have fettuccine Alfredo at lunch?" And she was not impressed with him and turned around and said, "You blankety, blankety, blank." And he said, "I like her. She put me in my place." And he knew it. So she is so loyal to him. She's the one making sure that things are taken care of. And his kids are very honoring to him because they're in their kitchen cooking together. And it's a terrible disease.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And nobody gets it in their 20s. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of anyone.
I don't think that's very common.
Yeah. So, and that he's still living with it.
Right.
And he shows how the medicines work. The half-life is so short on one of them. He has to time it in such a way so that, in 10 minutes, it'll give him the hit. It'll make it calm down, the jerking movements of Parkinson's. But he falls all the time. He's broken this. He's broken that. This is bruised. He has a therapist who walks with him and helps him. He goes, "I'm getting there, guys. I fall a lot, okay?" So it's a lot of self-effacing humor. He's yeah. Well, I mean it. Has anyone else watched it? Have you seen it, Mary?
I don't think I.
Okay.
Not yet.
I think it's good. I think you'll like it because
not a lot of yucks, as you say.
Not a lot of yucks, as I say. But you do go Back to the Future.
Oh, I'll just go watch that.
You do see him in Family Ties.
I'll go. I love Family Ties.
There were so many things.
Sha-la-la-la.
I know. And Meredith Baxter Burney and Mallory and all of them. I mean, it's so good. Wait,
Doc Hollywood, Sally's favorite.
Doc Hollywood.
Michael J. Fox movie is Doc Hollywood, and that is amazing. Woody Harrelson's in it. Don't sleep on Doc Hollywood.
No, that's right.
And I believe it's on HBO or Max or whatever it's called now.
Which we could have a whole lesson on why we changed the name. HBO is the original name of the original streaming service in the 80s.
You're telling me?
Why they went to Max. Okay, this next
one's going to be a big one.
This one everyone needs to see.
It was 2 hours. We're going to have a lot to talk about.
Anna Nicole Smith, You Don't Know Me on Netflix. Have you seen it, Darren? It's good, isn't it? What do you think?
It's really good. I always adored her very much. Vicky.
That was really her name.
But I have to say, and no disrespect because R.I.P. and I think that she was a really sweet, lovely woman. But I just, I think, she kind of lied a lot. I do think that she deserved money from Howard.
Howard, yeah.
I mean, that's
Marshall,
his money,
Marshall,
and that's the why.
She loved him.
That was his money too.
That's
right. Any kid that's to your parent, that's their money.
Right. That's right.
Butt out. There were billions. There's plenty of money to go around. Greedy. But so I think that she should have gotten a bunch of money, whatever, which she never did. But
let's talk about why she loved him. Because he really didn't have any sexual interest in her. He just wanted to encourage her, dote on her. That's all she needed, y'all. When she met her dad in the back of that limo, I almost puked.
Well, I didn't at first, and then until I was like, wow, he's handsy.
No, right. And she said he actually propositioned her for sex.
But then she also got caught lying a lot she lied about her mom to everyone about how abusive and she handcuffed her to the bed and she didn't do any of that. She just said it was better to have a sad story than a good story. Yeah. So it's just so complicated. But either way, it's heartbreaking because she was addicted to opioids very early on, after her breast augmentation. Yeah. And then it just never went away. She never got off of that.
And you remember we would watch her on that show. She was on one of the
Anna
first
Nicole Smith show.
Yes, one of the first reality shows.
I loved it.
Remember she
not
would
now,
slur.
And in hindsight, I feel bad watching it.
Right, she would slur her.
We were
way through
sugar pie. My girlfriends and I in college were like, I want a pickle. Or they'll go get me some donut hoes. And where's sugar pie? Sugar pie, go get my duck sugar pie. We didn't. Right. Mary was there. We didn't know. I didn't. I know. We're kids. We didn't get it.
We didn't know.
But I also want to include, and this is just a fact, she was the spokesperson for Trim Spa.
Oh, I remember.
And I took Trim Spa in college.
Who didn't?
Well, my dad and I went to go look for supplements, and it was there, and we got talked into Trim Spa. And, everybody in college gains, I guess, some weight or whatever.
They do.
Well, the thing with this is it's a sheet. Each day is a full sheet on foil of ginormous red pills, okay? And you take at least 8 or 9, 10 a day. And I'm living in a house with my best friends. There's 4 girls. And so it's day 2, day 3 of me on Trim Spa. No food. I mean, it was Trim Spa Baby.
Trim Spa Baby,
okay?
Yeah.
And I think we'd seen the transition from, not that I was in the same boat, but we just saw a very big transition. And I've never been against diet pills. I mean, obviously as an adult, but as a kid, I was like, do you?
Yeah.
But I was day 3. My friend Kristen was like, hey, it's your turn to clean up the kitchen. And I was like, shut up, bitch. I was on meth, basically.
With nice teeth.
And everyone was like, oh, hey, whoa, gotta maybe cool it. And they didn't know I was doing Trim Spa. And then finally they saw me pull out my foil sheet for the day.
And you were I only had 7 today.
I had 6 or 7 boxes. I had months. I had months supply.
Of course you did.
So I pull up my sheet and they're like, what the hell is that? I'm like, Trim Spa Baby. I'm like, we watched the show and they're like, Oh, good God. So they had a house meeting. It was like,
an intervention?
It was like the real world.
Oh.
Well, it was day 5.
Oh.
And I think my hair had fallen out and I had like,
you hadn't slept
I had like
since-
bald patches and I had called everyone in the
twitching
house the B
bitch.
word. I called them all like, and then told them to like, where to put it.
Yeah.
And
Logan Roy. You told me to use the Logan Roy language.
I was awful. And so they sat me down. They're like, if you don't stop taking Trim Spa,
baby,
you have to leave. You have to move out, basically. And then I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's easy.
Did they pull that from the market? Was that one of them?
I can't imagine if anywhere, it's probably at TJ Maxx.
Yeah,
you could probably get it at TJ Maxx.
Right. That's right. Right.
I didn't move. I got off of it.
Oh, that day 5 was it.
I got off of it. Yeah.
Came clean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they were like, it needs to be out of the house.
Yeah. Right.
I was a monster.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I did lose 5 pounds.
Yeah. See, I'm sure you did. No, it's something everyone needs to watch as well, just because. And she loved Daniel, and that.
It's just the most tragic, one of the most
really
tragic
is.
celebrity stories that I've ever seen. And it's 2 hours and like, God, I mean, the whole time I was like, damn it, just be like 5 more minutes. Like I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Like it's just, it's incredibly depressing and just devastating.
It is.
And
It is.
so buckle up.
Yeah,
I mean, I
buckle
don't
up.
think it's as sad as the Michael J. Fox one. That might be more positive.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I guess it's like subject to interpretation. It's all relative, but
And it's true. If you were a fan of hers, you would have more interest. If you
and
thought
they
of her,
show boobs in this one.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
in case
That's true.
you know,
That's true. Michael
what
J.
you're.
Fox,
If you're not going to see boobs in Michael J. Fox,
there are no
documentary.
boobs. Okay, this next one. So I was all team Candy when Candy was on Hulu because
I was too.
I love Jessica Biel and I love Justin Timberlake making the cameo.
Oh, yeah.
y'all,
I forgot about
this
that.
Max version of Love and Death, which is, have you seen it yet?
Sally, they just finished it. Sally and Bruce just finished it.
It's Elizabeth Olsen plays the lead.
Love.
She doesn't have the hair though that Jessica Biel did, but y'all, it tells a different angle of the murder of Candy Montgomery falls in love with Alan, whatever his name is.
But played by Jesse Plemons.
Yes, who have you
FNL. We love
have-
Friday Night Lights. Landry.
there's so many things I've loved him
FNL.
in. I mean, I can't even. The list is this long that I've loved him in.
Okay.
So wait, what?
Sally was okay. Sally wanted to say he's unattractive.
No, but he's
In the
endearing.
but he's supposed
We
to be, I
love
think,
him.
he's
He's nerdy.
the Love and Death.
But in Love and Death, then they get into. You see the angle that they play Candy. So the attorney. So the closing credits kind of tell the story.
Well, she kills Betty.
She does kill Betty.
She has an affair with her friend's husband.
But she kills Betty kind of in self-defense.
It's absolutely so.
Yeah, but see, we didn't know that in the beginning. We just think
I didn't feel that as much in Candy
I didn't
as I
either.
did. I think this was like way more true, like
I do
to
too.
the real events.
I do too.
And I'm not like supporting people killing people with an axe. But if you come at me with an axe
And
and you could try and cut my little foot off,
Oh, okay.
I got long toes.
Let me tell you.
I'm in trouble.
Okay, let me tell
My
you.
toes are longer than any of y'all's toes.
Okay, it made my teeth kind of cringe
Look.
when she came in at that first axe plunge
Oh.
to the toes.
Oh,
that I
don't
know.
even.
I know.
My toe. I wouldn't have a foot because I'm all toes.
Makes my teeth hurt.
So it's
Yeah.
all toes,
All toes.
and she had flip flops on for crying out loud.
That she chopped up in teeny tiny pieces.
Sorry
and she
about it.
didn't know where they went.
Sorry about
when
it.
her husband said, "Where are those flip flops?" She goes,
They gone.
I don't know.
Right.
Let me think. What are you asking for? I don't know.
But think about it: if someone comes at you with an axe and then they hit you with it,
yeah.
Do you remember when you were little? And actually, Bruce did this analogy. And like someone, if you were ever, I got in fights when I was little. Like Lizzie and I would wrestle and like really overdo it and piss each other off. And you just like get hit and you just get full of rage. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You know. Well, imagine like with a axe and someone really trying to kill you. You're good because the thing is that she did overkill.
And
she
part
defended
of
herself.
your scalp comes off when the axe comes up.
She got the axe from Betty,
Yeah.
and then she overkilled 40 hits. I mean, I understand, like, overdid it, but I can imagine being in that mindset that she kept getting up, and I would be like, you're not getting up again.
Right.
You tried to take off my feet.
It was Lizzie Borden from 1980, and they're
Yeah.
pretty good with the music. Is very much period music. They
Yep.
even the motel look of that time.
I loved
and-
all of it. I thought
I
it was
did
so
too.
well done, and the husband Candy's husband is played by the kid from Almost Famous.
Oh,
hadn't seen him in a minute.
Seen him in
a minute,
long
and he looks the same with a bigger face.
Yes, it just they had a wig on him or something, so his hair was.
But it is so well done, and this isn't a spoiler because his case is what 30 years old,
40 years old. Yeah. You can Google it. Because of course I did, and Katie Montgomery changed her name and moved. They finally divorced when they left Georgia.
Fair enough.
Yeah, right.
I mean, she put
justified.
She put him through the ringer.
Right.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
She was good. It was.
I thought she did a really.
It was
Elizabeth Olsen did a really good job.
Yeah, it was a different angle than the Hulu story in that.
Well, I had to. Let's just be frank here. With Jessica Biel with that wig was distracting.
It was.
It was an Annie wig. And
it was an Annie wig.
It was not easy to get past.
Oh,
I mean,
but when Justin Timberlake comes in as the sheriff or whatever he was,
then and he was fine, but I couldn't. I was like, "Where's the wig? I need to go." And look at his mustache. He had that fake mustache on. I was like, "We're playing dress up in their house with their kids."
That's exactly what happened.
It just wasn't as elevated.
Yeah, and I didn't think I would like this, but somebody said stick with it.
Yeah,
and
it was great,
and I'm glad I did. Okay, my guilty pleasure is Sylvester Stallone and his girls are in a reality show called The Family Stallone. Sly is 76 now. He's got 3 of the prettiest girls. I like it. I think it's better than the Kardashians in that they haven't had plastic surgery and they're not on their phones and eating salads all day.
What are they doing?
Just being Stallone.
Like talking to each other?
They're talking to each other. And Jennifer, his wife, that they tried to divorce.
Yeah, they got back.
Yeah, they got back together just as this was going to drop.
How convenient.
Yeah. And
smart.
And they're a real sweet little family. Like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, how many episodes are you in?
I think 3.
Okay.
And I think it drops week by week.
Oh, okay.
So I think I've only seen 3.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch that because I think I could watch him read the phone book just because it's so uncomfortable.
Okay, so my husband loves Tulsa Kings.
Oh yeah,
and so he leaves to go to Oklahoma City for 6 months and shoot Tulsa King, and so
So it's just them.
No, it's the re-entry of him coming back.
Oh, okay.
And saying...
and getting reacclimated to the fam.
And they said, this is how we grew up. Dad would be gone on a set, and they were talking about what it was like having Rambo as your dad. We thought Bruce was bad in The Robe and the Glass of Milk, which we'll revisit sometime.
I think we're good.
Okay. Rambo looking at you from upstairs as the boy's about to kiss you. She was like...
Was he dressed as Rambo?
Oh, yeah. There were times that he was like shirtless.
Jealous.
Yeah, shirtless.
If that were a Bruce, I'd be like, that's my dad.
They did not feel that way.
No, I bet not.
And he's 76, y'all. And these girls are like 21, 25, and 27 or so. And some went to USC. One's in Miami. And they must have a home like in West Palm Beach, and they're going there. So I kind of like it.
I'm into it. I don't even think that's
would.
guilty.
Okay, good.
I think that's good.
Okay. What's yours?
Now I want to not talk about my guilty pleasure because I thought yours was actually going to be something embarrassing.
It's just that, nobody would watch mine.
Okay, well, I'll just get to it. I love animal shows. I love animal programs. I've always watched snake shows since I was little.
You made us watch the octopus thing.
You're welcome.
Okay.
My octopus teacher?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't eat octopi. They have feelings.
Right.
You can have a complete journey with one for over a year. Anyway,
so I hear.
So I love these. There's an animal show. It's old, but there's like several seasons on Animal Planet called Fatal Attractions. And I'm really fascinated with people that buy exotic pets, exotic animals, and have them as pets.
Like tigers and lions and stuff?
Vipers. And like everyone, and like obviously you know what happens to the owners.
Yeah.
Wolves, bears.
Yeah. R.I.P.
The Komodo dragons. Yeah, I made Sally. My mom's real into that too. We share that. But this show is called Fatal Attractions, and like the people that have survived. This one sweet couple couldn't have kids, so they had a monkey.
No, stop.
I can't.
Stop.
And let's just say the daddy can't talk anymore because his mouth was ripped off by a monkey.
Stop. Okay. I got it.
So you got where I'm going. So anyway, it's just all of these interesting stories. Now the sad part is that obviously a lot of the animals are. It's not the animal's fault because you can't make a viper love you.
No, you
can't. You shouldn't let them slither around your house. Cobras are not sweet.
No,
and they will not love you back.
No,
they won't. So it's like animals like that you cannot domesticate. So it's fascinating, but there's often turn it up before the end when they're like, we had to kill all the animals.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll raise you that.
Okay.
All right.
My
600-pound life. There are sometimes, thank you,
Look,
Mary.
Mary Bogey right next to me.
Sometimes I love
Talks
to just
about it all the time.
I love to turn it on. I love the doctor.
That's the only thing that Mary's Chris Farley about. She's like, did I tell you that time where they had the hose and they had to lift their folds and blah blah.
And I love it because then he would say, "Now, why are you so fat?" And the husband would say, "Well, she wanted Burger King at 3 a.m." And he would go and get it, but then he really was into porn or something.
Not okay.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Because the Burger King at 3 a.m. ain't gonna make you 6,000 pounds.
But there's some darkness involved, and they're codependent, and I can't get enough of it.
You really can't.
No,
she really can't.
That's what he says every time. He goes, "You should have lost 30 pounds by now."
In what amount of time?
A month.
20 minutes.
Yeah, right, a week. He says it every time. He only has a few lines.
How y'all doing?
Because is it the sisters? The sisters one?
Well, no, I've watched that one. I mean, there's one girl.
There's like spin-offs.
There was a girl from Little Rock that was in one. That I watched her episode. So there have been other things.
Well,
which we need to talk about the other Little Rock connection that we talked about today. Do you have any other guilty pleasures?
Not that I should say in public.
Okay. Then here's my other one. Mer People. Have you heard about this?
Oh.
Mer People. There's a girl in Little Rock who is on it. She goes by Mermaid Sparkles. She works at the Red Door.
Wait, I think
she drives like.
Is this like a not circus, like a carnival type performing thing?
They're like underwater.
Oh, it's underwater.
They're obsessed with mermaids, and
so it's like a lifestyle.
She's the lead. Yeah,
she's the lead.
She's the first person they talk about. They go,
"I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Thank you, Little Rock. We're the lead of something completely unique and different, and we're going to get some good press.
Yeah, Mermaid Sparkles is her name, and she is.
Thank you, Mermaid Sparkles.
I had lunch at Local Luna, and my niece goes, "Wait, that's where Mermaid Sparkles works." I went, "I beg your pardon." She goes, "You haven't watched Mer People?" And I went, "I have not." Oh, there she is.
Is this like Cirque du Soleil in the water with onesies on?
Oh, just
like Kroger brand.
Yeah, it is.
So
Kroger
it's probably
brand.
better.
Yeah, it is Kroger brand, Cirque du Soleil.
Well, God, I've never heard of that entire life.
And
you haven't watched it yet?
No, I just found out today.
When you
at noon.
said that today, I was like, people that are obsessed with Little Mermaid. You're like, no.
No, I said no.
Because the new Little Mermaid came out, and I'm like,
right.
okay, so it's like a thing.
No, it's Mer People.
Stop saying that.
Okay.
Mer People? That's not what it's called.
Yes, it is. See, even
well, Merman is from Zoolander.
Right. Oh.
Merman.
Now, that is something I can watch sometime. And just turn it on just so I can watch the orange frappuccino, the gas station.
Which is Mattson is in that scene from Succession.
No
He's
way.
one of the models. Full circle. We went from beginning to end.
Called professional mermaiding.
Professional mermaiding.
Well, I don't love that term, but
okay. Well, let's remind everybody that you have a delightful podcast. For Little Rock listeners and voters.
Yes.
It's in the top 3 or 5 contenders for best podcast.
Right.
It's called Put Your Books Down.
Put Your Books Down. My friend Angela Bingham and I do this pop culture meditation podcast, and it's not a lot of science.
It's a lot of yucks, though.
Yeah, it's silly. It's pretty
definitely
silly.
a lot of yucks.
Yeah.
So definitely tune into that.
Thank you.
And we do this episode with you every quarter because we get the hard-hitting stuff while you people care about politics and who's running for what. We don't.
It's pointless.
We care about who's on Netflix and what everybody's watching. So
yes. Thank you again for having me. I love you so much.
I love you more. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Lisa Fisher Said podcast. Be sure to hit subscribe and download all the episodes and leave a review, won't you? The Lisa Fisher Said podcast is produced by ClantonCreative.com.